After 87 years of silence, could we finally have the answer to one of aviation's most haunting mysteries? Amelia Earhart, the fearless aviator who dared to defy expectations, disappeared without a trace in 1937. Her final flight has captivated the world for generations, sparking countless theories and relentless searches. But now, new evidence has emerged that could reveal what really happened to one of history's most iconic figures. Is it possible that her plane has finally been found? What exactly happened to her? This is the mysterious story of Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Amelia Earhart was more than just a record-breaking pilot. She was an icon of her time, a woman whose courage in the skies and defiance of traditional expectations captivated the world. Amelia was determined to prove that boundaries were made to be broken. Amelia championed the role of women in aviation. In 1929, she founded the 99s, an international organization dedicated to supporting female pilots, which still represents women flyers from across the world today. Through this organization and her public persona, Amelia encouraged women everywhere to pursue careers that had traditionally been out of reach. But Amelia's legacy didn't end in the cockpit. She was a passionate advocate for women's rights, using her fame to challenge the belief that women should stay grounded, both literally and figuratively. Through her fearless example, Amelia showed the world that women could be just as bold, just as capable, and just as ambitious as men. Unfortunately, it was the spirit of adventure and resilience that cost her her life and her sudden disappearance in 1937. What was meant to be Amelia's crowning achievement instead left behind questions that still intrigue us to this day. So, what exactly happened? In 1937, with the world watching, Amelia Earhart embarked on a flight around the globe. This wasn't a straightforward path, but a carefully mapped route spanning roughly 29,000 miles, chosen to take her closer to the equator. From the start, she knew this was no ordinary mission. Therefore, she enlisted Fred Noonan, one of the most skilled navigators of the time, to join her. His expertise would be critical, especially for the most dangerous leg of the journey, the vast, open stretches of the Pacific Ocean, where navigation relied on precision and communication. Together, they were a powerful team, traveling in a twin-engined Lockheed Electra, a plane that was fast, reliable, and modified for this extraordinary mission. The journey began with smooth progress. They flew over continents, stopping at major points across South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By June 29, 1937, they arrived in Lae, Papua New Guinea, their last stop before the Pacific. At that time, the Pacific was a remote area with no landmarks, no islands in sight, just miles and miles of water. The next destination after Lae, Papua New Guinea, was Howland Island, a tiny island in the Pacific Ocean, chosen as a refueling point. Finding it would be like searching for a needle on a market floor. On July 2, 1937, they took off from Lae early in the morning. It was meant to be a routine flight that required intense focus. But as they neared Howard Island, something went wrong. The US Coast Guard ship, the Itasca, was stationed near the island, prepared to guide them in. Yet, despite the ship's repeated attempts to make contact, Amelia's communication was patchy and unclear. The static-filled airwaves and weak signals created some sort of distress for both Amelia and those awaiting her arrival. However, at some point, Amelia's voice, which normally was calm and composed, sounded very strained. She sent her last message at 8:43 a.m., full of urgency and reflecting maximum distress. "We must be on you, but cannot see you. Gas is running low." That final transmission was the exact moment Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan vanished from the skies. Somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, their plane and their dream disappeared, leaving only questions behind. What happened in those last moments? Did they miss Howland by mere miles? Or was there a mechanical failure that sealed their fate? Were they captured? To be honest, no one really knows to date. Disturbed and shocked about Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan's sudden and unexplainable disappearance, the US Navy and Coast Guard immediately launched one of the largest search and rescue operations in history, involving about 4,000 men, costing more than $4 million and covering over 250,000 square miles of ocean, in hopes of finding any trace of the missing aviators. Ships and aircraft scoured the waters around Howard Island, but despite these intense efforts, No evidence of the plane was found. It was as if Amelia and Fred had simply disappeared into thin air. With no leads and after months of searching, in January 1939, Earhart was legally declared dead, and in no time, speculation quickly took over, leading to a range of theories about what might have happened on that final flight. The most widely accepted theory is the crash and sink theory. According to the crash and sink theory, Amelia's plane likely ran out of fuel while searching for Howard Island, forcing her to ditch the aircraft in the ocean. With the waters around Howard reaching depths of thousands of feet, finding wreckage would be nearly impossible. But other theories have also emerged, each with its own intriguing clues. One of the most compelling is the Gardner Island or Nikomaroro hypothesis. This theory suggests that Earhart and Noonan may have landed on a remote coral island about 350 miles south of Howland Island. In 1940, British settlers on Nikomaroro found a partial human skeleton, a woman's shoe, and other artifacts from the 1930s. Although the bones were lost before they could be conclusively identified, some believe these could have belonged to Amelia. So, the big question is, could she and Noonan have survived as castaways, waiting for a rescue that never came? Another theory points to the possibility of capture. Some believe that Amelia's plane may have veered off course into Japanese-held territory. The Japanese capture theory has inspired books, documentaries, and even alleged sightings, though there's little concrete evidence to support it. In the 1990s, a photograph surfaced that some claimed showed Amelia and Fred in the Marshall Islands, but it was later debunked. There's also a theory that Amelia was working as a spy for the US government, using her flight as a cover to gather intelligence on Japanese activities in the Pacific. Some versions of this theory suggest that Amelia and Fred were captured while on this secret mission, but no substantial evidence has ever emerged to support it. Finally, there's a more unusual theory that claims Amelia survived and returned to the US under an assumed identity. According to this theory, she lived her life as a woman named Irene Bolam. Although this theory gained some attention, it has been widely debunked and is missed by experts. With no clear answers, these theories have only added to the mystery surrounding Amelia Earhart's disappearance. As time passed, each theory gained its own dedicated following, but none could fully and convincingly explain what happened to Amelia and Fred on that fateful day. Interestingly, in recent years, advanced technology and renewed interest have allowed researchers to explore regions of the Pacific Ocean once thought unreachable. One of the most promising investigations was led by Dr. Robert Ballard, an ocean explorer famous for discovering the wreck of the Titanic. Using sonar and underwater imaging, Ballard and his team focused their efforts near Nikomaroro, the atoll where some believe Amelia may have crash-landed. In 2019, Ballard's team conducted a detailed search around Nikomaroro, diving around 2,000 feet into the ocean and examining every detail of the seabed. Although they didn't find definitive evidence of the Electra, Ballard's exploration didn't eliminate the possibility. The mission revealed that the area's dense coral and shifting sands could easily conceal wreckage. For Ballard and his team, the results were both encouraging and frustrating, providing insights but no concrete answers. Meanwhile, an organization called TIGAR, the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, has been investigating the Nikomaroro theory for over 30 years. Their research has uncovered several artifacts on the coral island, including a piece of aluminium thought to match the Electra's structure, as well as remnants of a 1930s woman's shoe. In addition, they discovered a partial skeleton in 1940 that was initially examined and dismissed as being male. However, in recent years, forensic analysis of photos and measurements of the bones suggest they could have belonged to a woman of Earhart's stature, reigniting interest in the theory. Most recently, an ocean exploration company, Deep Sea Vision, has brought new technology to the search. Their synthetic aperture sonar, or SAS, allows them to achieve a level of accuracy and resolution far beyond traditional methods. In 2023, they used a $9 million underwater drone to meticulously survey over 6,000 square miles near Howard Island. This equipment can detect objects down to a decimeter level, making it possible to locate even small pieces of debris. In a surprising development, Deep Sea Vision, led by Tony Romeo, announced they had identified an object around 16,000 feet below the surface and just 100 meters off Howard Island. The object reportedly shares the dimensions and shape consistent with the Lockheed Electra, which is the same model of plane that Earhart flew. The team described it as having two wings, a fuselage, and even a tail that resembles the twin fin configuration configuration distinctive to Earhart's Electra. However, they have also acknowledged the possibility that it could be a rock resembling the shape of a plane. Deep Sea Vision plans a follow-up expedition in 2024 to verify the discovery, hoping to capture images of the plane's tail number, NR16020, which would provide definitive identification. At the same time, Amelia Earhart's family has expressed cautious optimism, hoping that this discovery could finally solve the mystery and bring closure to one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries. For now, though, the mystery remains. So, will this next mission finally reveal what happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan? What do you think? Will we ever truly know what happened to Amelia Earhart? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And while at it, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be among the first to know when we publish next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.